Okay, we're at the top of Inuyama Castle in Inuyama, which is north of Nagoya City. We're overlooking the Kiso River, and on this side is what would be, now Nagoya and Kasugai, and over there is what we have is Gifu. In fact, you can see Komaki Castle way over there where you see the tall buildings, if you can actually see that, and then over this way we've got Gifu Castle. This is a really special place because Inuyama Castle, it's the oldest of all the castles in Japan that are still in an original state. Now it's one of the smallest, mind you, but there are only 12 castles in Japan like this, and this is one of them, and it's only one of 5 national treasure castles. And it's got a storied history, very important in terms of the unification of Japan. If you go back to even the 1400s, this was a hill that had its first fortifications like around 1440, but if you go back after that, getting into the 1500s where there was the Warring States period, you saw lots of smaller castles surrounding larger ones, just to kind of protect the defensive road. In fact, about 50,000 by the 1500s in the Warring States period. So with Inuyama Castle, we're going to go down and actually have a look at the different parts of the castle. But basically it was Oda Nobunaga, the uncle of Oda Nobunaga, one of the 3 unifiers, that actually in 1537 had a proper fort built here. Now this is the 4th floor. Actually, there's 4 floors here. This is the 3rd one, and essentially, it's designed so that you can't tell how many floors there really are. A lot of castles are like that. Now, again, in 1537, Oda Nobunaga, he wanted to solidify his domain. And this actually here is one of the steepest staircases of castles in Japan. Note, you got to watch your head here. And back in, if you move up to 1560, when Oda Nobunaga was getting closer and closer to unifying Japan, he actually had Inuyama Castle better fortified. You have to understand, this is built all with wood and stone. We'll show you the stone walls later, but built with natural resources. They didn't use nails and that kind of thing. And again, this is in its natural state from, well, actually 1600-ish is where Tokugawa Ieyasu finally kind of put some of the finishing touches. It was around 1620 when it was really done. Just quickly, we're in the armory right now, so this is the 2nd floor, and this is where you would have seen the weapons that the samurai needed. Now, basically, the top floors, you can see there was a 360-degree view, right? And that means they could see enemies coming. This was important because it was in between Mino province, which is where Gifu is today, and of course Owari, which is western Aichi. And then there was the Mikawa Domain, which is eastern Aichi, right? And Mikawa was dominated by the Tokugawa. It was Tokugawa Matsudaira before he became actually Matsudaira Ieyasu before he became Tokugawa Ieyasu. Now, if you want to fast forward to, roughly 1584, I think it was, there was the Battle of Komaki-Nagakutte. And Oda Nobunaga is dead, and Toyotomi Hideyoshi is now trying to unify Japan. And, he's trying to subjugate all the other warlords. And then Tokugawa Ieyasu, he wasn't going to have any of that, and they had a battle, but it ended in a stalemate in this area here, which was a really important battle. Now, what you have to understand is that eventually Toyotomi Hideyoshi dies, and then Tokugawa Ieyasu, let's get a look at some of these samurai suits here. Tokugawa Ieyasu is the one that wins the Battle of Sekigahara, about a 30-minute drive from here, which allowed him to bring peace to Japan, and it was one of his sons that finally ended the other feudal lords that were kind of, trying to usurp Tokugawa Ieyasu, and then a peace of 250 years could finally be here. So the castle has undergone some reconstruction and that kind of thing. There were, parts of it, added to and that kind of thing. But again, this is one of it's the oldest originally standing castles in Japan. In the Meiji Restoration in 1868, actually, all the surrounding buildings were torn down. Castles, a lot of them were dismantled, but this one was allowed to remain standing in its original state, which makes it very, very unique. And we're going to quickly go down here so you can kind of see the stone walls, which is kind of the base of the castle.